Okay, welcome to my podcast. I'm not sure what I'm going to call this podcast, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be documenting me trying to build 12 startups in 12 months. For everyone that's currently following me on Instagram and maybe YouTube, I posted on YouTube Shorts. You've probably seen me posting a few videos about building 12 startups in 12 months. And I found that 30 seconds to 1 minute is not enough time for me to share all my learnings and to talk about all the challenges that I'm going through, and also to just deep dive into some of the ideas and capture my thoughts behind them. So I thought starting a video podcast would be, I guess, very straightforward on my end because there's not much editing to be done, and a bit fun, I guess, because I get to document my thought process, meaning that if any of my startups end up doing really well and anyone asks me, hey, so like, how do you come up with this idea? What were you thinking? I'll just say, hey, go listen to the podcast because I captured my whole thought process while I was making it. I have notes here on what I'm going to cover in this episode. So I'm already in month 2 in building 12 startups in 12 months. So I'm gonna like talk about why I chose to do this in the first place, what I built in month 1 and what's happening with that, what I'm building in month 2, and what's next. I'm going to be doing these episodes every week, and it should be easy for me to be consistent with it because, like I said, there's not much editing to be done. I'm just talking to a mic. Surely it's not that hard. Okay, so firstly, why 12 startups in 12 months? I mean, any of you who are in the indie hacking space already knows who inspired me to do this. 100% Peter Levels. Peter Levels, I'm a huge fan of his because I just feel like he firstly has actually built companies. He's not like selling a course or doing anything. Like these are actually good products, and I've paid for almost all of his products actually. Um, and I read his blog post about doing the 12 startups in 12 months, and what his reasoning behind it that inspired me is basically he said he was thinking too much about all the ideas he had. And when he finally built it, he spent too long before actually letting it out into the world because he was trying to perfect it. And I think I'm a perfectionist myself. And without doing 12 starts on the 12 months, I'm just going to end up spending months trying to um, build a product. And that's exactly what happened. So for the last nearly 2 years, my YC company, I was a YC founder for 6 years. We ended up shutting down the company. So I've been doing this. I've been like doing content creation and just building a bunch of products for the last 2 years. And really, if where I look at it, in the last 2 years, I should have built way more products than I had built. I only built 2 products. One of them was Good Script. It was like an AI video script maker, and the other one was Cozy, which was a lot more cooler. It was a AI video editor like Cursor. So you just describe what type of edits you want, and it will the software would edit the video for you. And yeah, looking back, I should have built way more products than this. Like I just spent too long trying to perfect it. I spent so much time on Cozy trying to build a bunch of features, and what ended up happening is I launched it. It went viral. I actually had like maybe 200 people sign up to subscriptions, but everyone ended up canceling their subscription because the product just didn't work well enough. And again, that's just because I added too many features and I was trying to perfect it. So I believe 12 startups in 12 months is great for me because it would make me actually launch things, put less features in them, meaning that they're less likely to fail in the same way Cozy failed. And I already see the benefits because in the last 2 months, I've already built 2 products that I'm really happy about. And I came up with the idea for the third product I'm going to be doing next month. And I'm so like, I was literally going on a walk um, to the gym, and it just came to me because it's a problem I had. And I was like, whoa, this would be so sick if it existed. I'll definitely use it. But I'll talk about that idea next week. So yeah, that's why I'm doing 12 startups in 12 months. I want to be able to look back in 12 months and just say, oh, you know what, maybe none of the things I built worked, but at least I know I tried 12 different times. So what are the rules for my 12 startups in 12 months? Number one, they have to be launched publicly and available to everyone to use. They all have to have some sort of payments or paywall. So you have to pay to be able to use the product. Um, what else? I have to market them. So I'm not just building things and just like throwing it away. I have to market them, use my Instagram reach, use my TikTok reach, just try as much as I can to get the products out there. And the final rule is that I have to be a customer of every product I build. I found that in the past I've worked on things that I'm not a customer of, and it's just not fun. Like even if people pay me for it and it works well, I just don't find it fun. I'm not excited to work on a product because I'm not a customer of the product. So I think this is a very important rule for me. And as you'd see in the ideas that I tell you that I'm working on, you see that like, yeah, I'm basically really focusing on my problems that I would pay um money for. So those are the rules I believe. I have no goals on how much money I want each of the products to make because I don't know. Again, when I think about setting monetary goals, I feel like I end up working on crap products because I work on products that I think will make money as opposed to products that I want. And it kind of makes me start trying to hack it and I start caring too much. And it actually just leads me to depression. So I think I'm caring more about the art and building something for myself. And I feel like if I concentrate on that, then the money will come from the product. That's my thesis. We'll find out if that is correct. Um, Okay, so the app I built in month one. So the app I built in month one is called Beastboard, and essentially it's a keyboard extension. Like, let me describe the problem first. So if you ever used the dictation feature in the iPhone, you realize it's not very accurate, especially if you're talking for 2 minutes. I mean, no one ever, I wouldn't even try it for 10 seconds. But imagine you wanted to like say something for 2 minutes because you want to send a friend or business partner or colleague a very long message. It's going to get a lot of things wrong. And what I found is when I'm using the dictation feature in ChatGPT, it's way more accurate because they're obviously using the Whisper model and they're doing some like AI LLM stuff behind it to actually do a better job at predicting what you're saying. But yeah, it's way more accurate. And I found sometimes I actually like go to ChatGPT to dictate what I'm trying to say, and then I copy it from ChatGPT to like whatever app that I'm using. So I thought, okay, what if there was a way to replace the iPhone dictation with ChatGPT Whisper model? And that's what the first app was. The first app is called Beastboard, and it's essentially a keyboard extension that adds ChatGPT dictation, so you can easily just record a message to your friend and it will dictate it perfectly. And this app is so cool because, yeah, I built it last month and I've literally been using it every single day. Like every single day. I'll say one of the best stories is I sent my friend a really long message about something personal. And yeah, it was basically like maybe like I don't know, 3 paragraph long. And he sent me a message back saying, "Oh, thank you so much for taking the time to type this out." And obviously, I hadn't typed it out. I used the dictation feature in my new app, but it just goes to show that I guess he just didn't expect that that was dictation. Like he thought I actually just took the time to type it out. And it made me feel good too that I could actually respond a longer message as opposed to just I don't know writing a few words because I can't be bothered to type it out. So yeah, that's the first app. It's called Beastboard. I built it. It was not too hard to build. So the stack is I'm using React Native, and on the back end I'm using Nest.js. So Nest.js, if you don't know, is a alternative to using Express. It's basically like a Node.js backend, but it's very opinionated. So, um, yeah, it like kind of sets up the routes for you, and there's guards there. It's pretty interesting. I kind of regret using it because in the project I'm working on now, I'm using something else, and I think this just kind of just reminds me of Angular. It's just very opinionated. For you to like create a new route, you have to run a script that generates multiple files for that route. And I can see why big companies will use it because it kind of just structures everything. But as an indie hacker, I probably shouldn't have used it. Um, and in terms of building the product, the most complicated part was basically keyboard extensions are not allowed to record. So for me to do this, I basically have to open my app, start the recording in background and go back to the app that is the dictation is being done in. So what this looks like is if you're in iMessage and you tap record in Beastboard, it will open my app quickly and then go back to the iMessage and then you can start dictating. This was really hard to build because opening my app is easy, but going back to the previous app is quite complicated. I ended up solving it by having a list of hard-coded, um, what's it called? Like IDs of the apps, because if you know that an ID of an app, you can open it. So essentially, when you um, tap dictate, I record the app that you were in, open my app, grab the ID of the app you were in, and then open it, like go back to it. Like, long story, but you get what I'm saying. That was pretty hard to build. That took me quite a while to get the mechanism working really well. But yeah, it works really well. I've been using it constantly, and I'd say it's actually probably one of the apps I've made that I use the most, maybe apart from my YC company. But yeah, it's so fun every time I like use a product I've made. No one actually talks about that. If when you like build something and you just use it on a daily basis, the like the satisfaction you get from it is literally insane. But anyway, so I finished working on the app. I got my girlfriend to test it just to make sure it works. And then I posted it, like submitted it for review in the App Store. Obviously, I wasn't expecting it to get accepted instantly. So I got a rejection. The first rejection said that the app preview doesn't show my app being used, because obviously it's a keyboard extension. So for me to show it being used, I have to use it in another app. So Apple didn't like that I was doing that. So I argued with them a few times. Then eventually I decided to listen to them and remove it. And then they sent me another one saying I have to add a delete account functionality. I added that. So I thought everything was going well. And then eventually Apple hit me with the craziest rejection I have ever seen in my life. I've literally been submitting apps since I was maybe 18 years old, 19 years old, and I've never seen a rejection like that before. By the way, I'm 30 now, so I'm an uncle. Anyways, I've never seen a rejection. So what the rejection was that they said that my app looks like spam because the binary in my app is very similar to the binary of an app that was submitted by a developer that was blocked. Like literally, that's what it says. And I was like, what? I spoke to Gemini, and we came to a conclusion that the way I'm saying that I spoke to Gemini, like Gemini is like an actual person, but we came to a conclusion that because I'm using Keyboard Kit is like an open source um library that you can use to build custom keyboards for iOS. And I just thought, okay, because I'm using Keyboard Kit and because it's like an MVP and there's not much features in it, when I submit it, you're gonna like a bigger percentage of my binary is basically gonna be Keyboard Kit. So I've sent a message to them saying, hey, I think this is because I'm using Keyboard Kit's open source library. And yeah, that's probably the mistake. They got back to me again, just repeating the exact same thing. They literally didn't even like talk about anything that I said. They just said, yeah, it looks like spam. We can't accept it. Go back and try to work on another app. I was like, what is going on? Because it literally took me a long time to work on this app. I was so upset. I sent them another message saying, you didn't even read my message. What are you doing? I've sent you a message. I've sent you screenshots of the app. This is not a scam app. What do you mean? Like I felt like some like bad developer trying to prove myself that I haven't built a crappy app. And they got back to me again, just repeating the exact same thing. They said, "Yeah, your app is spam." And I honestly was gonna cry. Um, Luckily, Apple has a feature where you can like request a video appointment with the app review team. So I requested it. I wasn't sure how this was gonna go because again, I've never done this in my life before. Usually the app review process is very smooth for me. But I ended up joining. Keep in mind, we're in December. The build 12 startups in 12 months started in November. So really I should have launched this in November, but it's okay. I'm gonna launch it anyway. So it's still not launched. It's 14th of December today. But great news. I got on a call with the app review team maybe 4 days ago or whatever on Thursday. And I spoke to a very, very nice person called Bill. Turns out he's actually the head of the review team. He's been working at Apple for 20 years. And instantly, within the first 5 minutes of the call, he just said, yeah, I already read this. I've overturned your rejection. Your app has been approved. And I was so happy. I just wanted to like, I don't know. It was a great feeling. I shouldn't be feeling that I shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place, but I was so excited. I literally couldn't control it. I was like, oh my God, thank you so much, Bill. But he ended up keeping me in the call for like 30 more minutes, just talking about generic things. I think maybe they have what's it called, requirements to stay on the call with you for a certain amount of time. But yeah, so the app got approved. I haven't like released it into the app store yet because I just wanted to do some final testing this weekend, but I'm going to release it tomorrow. So we're going to have the first app on the App Store. I'm probably going to do some marketing for it next week to, yeah, try to see if I can get many of my like Instagram followers to test it out and download it. The the price I put on there, I think it was like $40 a year and then $10 a month. Basically, I'm trying to get people to pay for the yearly. I don't think it's that expensive. I think it should be good, but I'm not really sure anymore. Like, this is an app I built for myself, and what I've noticed from posting it on my Instagram stories, it doesn't seem like people are screaming to use it. So I feel like it might end up not being successful. And it's very strange to me because, again, this is something that has literally changed the way I communicate with my friends and everyone. So I find it weird that people are not as excited about the app as I am. But it's yet to be seen. Maybe it's just my Instagram story. Maybe I'm not posting it properly. Maybe I'm not communicating a message properly. So when I make a marketing video next week, we can see how that goes. Okay, so that's the first app. Um, what am I building month two? Now, month two, I feel like this app I'm building is sick. Like, it's actually cool. And I feel like from judging the reaction I get from people that I've explained the app to, it seems like they like month two app better than month one app. And I obviously use both of them because I need both of them for myself. So let's talk about the problem first for the app I'm working on month two. So if any of you have Macs and your storage gets full, my storage is 1 terabyte, but it gets full all the time because I'm obviously making content. I'm just doing a bunch of stuff that uses up my storage very quickly. When you go to the storage section, you see something called system data. And my system data takes up 300 gigabytes. And your system data might take up something similar, 100 or 200 gigabytes. Now, here's the thing. System data should only really be taking up 20, 30 gigabytes. And this is a problem that I've had for a very long time because I've Googled it, I've searched Reddit. Why is my system data taking up so much space? And eventually what I found that worked really well for helping me to like find out what is actually taking up system data space is if you like press a shortcut on your keyboard in the Finder app, you can actually start to Apple basically calculate the size of everything in your computer. So what you can do is you can basically like through just like a lot of like hard work, you can go into each of the file and eventually locate hidden files that are taking up space. And I did this, and it was crazy. I found a screen recording that was taking up 30 gigabytes. It's basically a screen recording that I didn't tap end on. So it ended up getting stored in my system data, and it's basically just hidden there. Nothing will ever find it, basically. I found out a bunch of other things that were just there taking up literally 20, 30 gigabytes. And yeah, so I deleted them. And one thing I noticed while I was doing this is that there's some files that take up like 40 gigs, but I don't know if I can delete it because I'm not sure. Because system data is very dangerous. If you delete the wrong file, it's going to end up basically just like stopping an application from working. So I just left those files alone, but really I should have just like found out what they are and then decide if I want to delete it or not. So that takes us into month two app. So the app I'm going to be working on, I've called it Free Up My Mac. And essentially it's a Mac app where it scans your entire drive and basically creates like a graph where you can just easily see how different applications or different files are taking up space on your computer. And then if you tap on a file or folder and tap analyze, it uses AI behind the scene to tell you if is the file safe to delete, what is the file's purpose, if you deleted the file, what would happen. Very simple. So it's sort of like Daisy Disk if you've used Daisy Disk before, but with AI on top of it actually telling you, giving you information about the files. And I like searched YouTube, I checked reviews of Daisy Disk, and people actually do say that. They say Daisy Disk is great. Yeah, it shows you everything on your computer, but it's not clear if you can delete those things or not. So I think AI is really useful for this. I've already built the first version of it. It's still not perfect. I've built payments, I've built the scanning, I've built the graph. Um, and it's insane because it's actually helped me save loads of space. Like there was a folder that was called Yarn or something. It was taking up 10 gigabytes. I thought it was very important. I thought maybe it's like the global yarn package that is used for the rest of the app. I just thought it was important, but I used my app, and my app told me that, oh no, this is just a cache to make it faster to install certain yarn. Oh my god, guys, I literally just had a panic attack. I'm using a new software to do the recording, Riverside, and for some reason it just disconnected, stopped halfway. I thought everything I was just saying was deleted. I literally was about to just just never do this again. Oh my god. I'm not sure where I stopped, but I think I was talking about that I finished building the first version, and that I've already used it to save a bunch of space on my computer, and deleted the yarn folder that I thought was useful, but it wasn't. Yes, I think this is a good product. I also like the fact that Daisy Disk, which is actually one of the biggest companies in this space, or Clean My Mac, they don't have a big team, especially Daisy Disk. I think it's just like the founder and his co-founder that are still there. So it shows it's a company that is good for one person to found. So maybe this is going to be the AI version of that, and it's going to be built by me. Who knows? But at the end of the day, like I said, if you build a product for yourself and no one uses it, you just don't feel like a failure when it's like when that happens, because at least you're still using it. Um, yeah, that's basically what I am working on. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about like a crazy mistake that happened last week. So basically, I'm using Electron Forge. I haven't used Electron Forge before. I've used Electron Builder. Electron Forge is built by the Electron team. Electron Builder is maintained by open source community. But the difference between them is the way you basically package your app and the way you auto update happens. So I'm using Electron Forge for the first time, and essentially to publish this is such a crazy story. To publish an Electron, to package an Electron app, you essentially type npm run publish, because they've added a script called publish that you have to run, and that packages it, sends it to S3, which then allows your customers to be not I guess customers to users to be able to download the app. Now here's the problem. npm run publish is very similar to npm publish, with just one word difference: the run. So last week I was just trying to like package the app quickly because I wanted to run to the gym. It was a Friday. I was just like, I'm done working. Let me just like package this as quickly as possible. So I ran npm publish instead of npm run publish. Now what happened? At the time, it asked me, what version do you want to give this? And I was like, this is weird. I didn't see this the last time I ran npm run publish. Oh, whatever. Maybe they've just updated it. So I gave it version 1.0, published it, thought, okay, this is cool. It works. Closed my computer. Woke up the next day to a message from Amazon, basically AWS, basically saying, hey, we found your secrets are available online. Please fix that as soon as possible. I was like, what the hell? I went back to my app. I literally didn't know what was going on. I checked everything out, looked at where my secrets are, and it turns out that because I ran npm publish instead of npm run publish, it literally just published my entire source code onto the web, including my .env file. Now, my .env file wasn't ignored because it was basically a .env file for publishing. So it has all my publishing keys, which are my Apple password. It has my AWS IAM secrets, basically crazy stuff to be available on the web. Luckily, it didn't have like OpenAI keys and all those other things that I'm using. But yeah, this is like the craziest thing. I've never had this happen to me before, and it just made me think. Obviously, it was my fault for making that mistake and not putting that in the .env file because I was running it locally. But it just made me realize that, wait a second, surely the Electron Forge team like knows that maybe it's a dumb idea to call the script publish when it's so similar to npm like publish, right? Doesn't it make more sense to call it npm release or something? So I'll run npm run release. The second mistake I realized that Electron Forge team made that basically made this even possible is that usually frameworks automatically add private false to your package.json. The reason they do that, I just realized now, is that if you run npm publish by accident, as long as you have private false in there, the npm publish will fail. So if I tried this on my Next.js project, nothing would have happened. But because I was doing it in Electron Forge, which first has made two massive mistakes, it's called it publish and it's called it what's it called? And it doesn't have the privates filled in there. it just basically made a world where this can happen. I'll be shocked if I'm the only one this has happened to. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, that was completely insane. I fixed it now. I've rotated the keys. I changed the script's name to be release instead. I added a private field. But yeah, no, this is one of the worst mistakes I've made. I actually just posted an Instagram video about it because it was just so bad. Um, but anyways, so next week it's gonna be launching apps, the startup number one. See what happens. I'm gonna try to launch it aggressively. Um, and I'm also going to make some updates, some progress on the free up my Mac desktop app. So we're looking good. I'm loving this so far, and I love that I have the startup ready for startup number 3. I'm going to talk about that next week's podcast. But yeah, if you listen to this point, yeah, I really appreciate it. I'm going to make more of this. I actually just had a lot of fun making this. This is the first time I've made a long form video that I actually had fun making. So I can definitely see myself doing this. It was super easy. Just wrote a bunch of notes and I just recorded it. So yeah, even better if people listen to it up to this point. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you in the next one. And also we need to figure out a name for this podcast. Hopefully I'll do that now. All right. See you guys.